And hello and welcome everyone to another installment of the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. We're here on Monday night, Matt, instead of Sunday night. You had some rolling blackouts, but damn it, we are dedicated, we are strong enough, we're good enough, and we're going to deliver a show this week anyway. Dagnabbit.
We are, and it's not going to be late this week. I've got a lot more time on my hands this week, so it's definitely going to be on time.
That's good. I think the comic multiverse in general has probably been the most consistent project I've
There
ever
has to
been
be
a part
something
of.
like quite substantial for it to not happen.
Yeah, we go holidays, we go birthdays, we go when you have food poisoning, when I have third-degree burns. We do it anyway. The only time we didn't do it was like for the 2 weeks where you and I went solo and we're like, do we even want to do a podcast again? Do we even want to? That was like the longest stretch we've gone without one.
Yeah.
Oh, the chat is saying my audio is low. I know that's
You're in the yellow. You're in the yellow, the same as me.
How do I sound now? I've turned up the actual like mic on my end.
You're still in the yellow for me, so
I'm still in. That's weird. Take it up with Matt. He's the audio tech
again,
engineer.
The audio is gated exactly how it always is.
Yeah, exactly. But it is weird. Sometimes we are louder, sometimes we're not.
Again, it's probably something to do with fucking YouTube.
Yeah, friggin' YouTube always does that shit, don't they?
Yeah.
Ugh. YouTube. Have you seen they've actually added a new thing for YouTube right
Checking
now?
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, you got to put more boxes and more checks there before you even upload a video. And it's like, Jesus Christ, why? Remember when it used to be easy when you could just upload a video and that was the end of it?
Yeah. You upload it, tick monetization on. That's it.
YouTube, they literally exist now just to put more steps and more hurdles between creators and their creations and creators and their money.
Yeah. Anything to not make you get paid.
For real. Did we talk about this on the show, but the new bullshit the IRS and YouTube are trying to pull now on international creators?
We didn't. We talked about it after the show last week.
Yes, because it affects us dearly. For those of you who don't know, everyone, and why your favorite international YouTubers were probably pissed off a couple weeks ago, apparently someone's grandkid at the IRS told them what YouTube was and that many creators from other countries have big American fan bases and get to make American monies without paying any American taxes. So the IRS is like, fuck that, and pressured YouTube to change the rules. So now if you don't file a very special sheet of paper right away, they could potentially by June take 24 to 30% of your income.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be happening with me because I think we worked out that Australia and Canada are like those treaty countries.
Yes, there's a very particular way around it. Again, you could either figure this out on your own, which Matt and I had to do, or hire a freaking accountant to figure it out for you. And basically the idea is if you are in a treaty nation, so Britain, Australia, Canada, all the good boys, all the good boys for the world wars, then you get to file for something called treaty status, which means they can't take any of the money away from you. No. So maybe your YouTube company will try and take some money away from you. My Frederator was very vague on that when I asked them about that. So don't be shocked if I end up going solo because they didn't give me a good answer.
And that's why I'm not with anyone.
Yeah, man, here's the thing. I am with a YouTube company because I got a great cut with them. Thank you, Michaelius. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
During my last negotiation, they actually gave me like a very, very generous cut of my own money. So I'm like, all right, I'll hang out with you guys for a bit. But then when this new tax thing happened, I'm like, what the fuck do you guys do for me? What do you guys do for anyone anymore?
Yeah. Unless you're like a PewDiePie, you're like nothing to them.
Or a Jim Sterling, and when you gotta like complain to someone, and even then, I think Jim is just like such a big entity unto themselves that they can just complain to whoever, and people actually listen. God, that's what it's all about, man. To be big enough to complain, and people have to do things for you. Man, I wish. Oh man, those are the days. Imagine Joel with the power and clout to actually fix broken shit. That'd be good, man. That'd be so good. So how's your week been, man?
Pretty good. Well, last week was pretty busy, and it like kind of petered off at the weekend. On the weekend, I went and saw all 3 Lord of the Rings films in cinema in 4K. First time I'd ever seen them since they were originally released.
Nice. You were tweeting about that, and again, making me super jealous. Matt can actually go outside.
Yes, we can go into the cinema. There was people in there. It was quite a full cinema.
Lucky fuck. You weren't all breathing on each other yet. You weren't having a droplet party just yet, though.
No, not just yet.
That's got
they were over in the vaccine only cinema though.
Of course. Man, I joked about this shit last week that the lady down the hall from me got fully vaccinated. I'm like, man, they're gonna have old people parties that are gonna put Caligula to shame. They're gonna be so rowdy. I shit you not, today, because it was like 18 degrees here in Canada, so it was like really warm and sunny. They were all outside on the patio underneath my window drinking wine and laughing.
It reminds me, it's that episode where Bart Simpson breaks his leg and they're all in the pool and he's watching from the window. Yeah.
That was me 100%. I'm like, you lucky fucking old people. Youth is wasted on the old, I guess. And I'm just sitting there refreshing the vaccine website for Ontario there. And it's like, so not me yet, huh? Maybe April if I lie and fake it. And then I see all our American friends who are like, hey, chronic illness, everyone, we're in. Also, too, apparently Rob Ford was like sitting on a bunch of the vaccine there. It's like, well, we only have so much. We don't want people to miss a dose is the problem. We don't want people coming back and missing doses. And I'm like, damn you, Rob Ford. Give me my doses. I just want it. I'll shoot anything in my arm. Just give it to me. Gimme. That's how desperate I am. Gimme. So that's how my week was.
That's good.
I got some writing done. Actually, right before we started, I felt motivated enough to actually do some writing, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, you were telling me about it.
Yes. A topic that has been shooting around Twitter a lot as it relates to the Marvel movies. And I'm like, you know what? I got something to say about this one. I could either turn this into a tweet chain, or I could actually make a video out of it. And I decided to make a video out of it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So if a big video essay drops in the next couple of weeks from me, you'll know why I did that. Which again, it might get people mad at me. I don't know. I guess we'll see about it. I'm not used to getting like deserved anger. Like, hey, you actually said some real stuff in that, and that made me mad. Usually, I'm used to people getting mad at me over stupid shit online that is pointless.
Yeah.
As I wrote this, I'm like, fuck me, this actually has some substance on this. I'm actually going out on a limb here. Let's see how this goes. But yeah, if we have nothing else to say, I guess we can hop on over to the news this week.
Yeah.
But before we even do that, everyone, remember that this show is sponsored in part by the good folks at Wild Bill's Craft Soda. We have the link down there in the description. We have the promo code down there in description. Get yourself a nice little percentage off. Assist the show while we're at it. You guys out there, you clearly seem to love the Wild Bill Soda because, again, I get emails every so often when you guys buy stuff, and you're actually buying this, which is fucking sick.
That's great.
I'm so used to doing ad reads before, and I'm like, you're not going to buy this. No one's going to buy this. I just pocketed the money because I need it real bad. Here, you people are actually buying stuff, and I can actually see the thing go up a little bit when I actually get paid. Awesome. Bear in mind, it's not much, but I can see people are actually buying with my words. And it is, and the hope is that if they buy enough off this show, then maybe I can ask for more money or more shit. And that's what it's all about, Matt. Just getting some more shit.
Yeah.
You know what else it's about? Our first news story from this week.
Yeah.
Unexpected one, actually. The director of Promising Young Woman, a film that I have not actually seen yet, but I want to see, and I think it's super dope that it actually got nominated for an Oscar this year.
Yeah.
Emerald, what is that? Fennel?
Yeah, Fennel.
Fennel. A lot of N's in it, but apparently she has been tapped to write and I guess also direct a Zatanna film that is in the works at DC right now.
Yes, just like every other film, every other character gets a movie.
And in development, this is also in development right next to New Supergirl and Black Superman and all the other ones we're
Blue
working
Beetle
on.
and a Nightwing film. And,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They're all in production on some level, but this is cool. I've always said that Zatanna is the sort of character they should be making movies about, especially now because she is a superhero, but she defies so many superhero conventions.
Yeah, definitely. I could see you making a really fun movie with her.
Mm-hmm. She's a magician who works in Vegas as a stage magician, but she uses real magic, which is the best fucking cover for anything ever. You could also do some fun tying in to the Justice Society of America because her dad, Zatara, was a member. And, you could open up a whole magical side of the DC universe if you really wanted to.
Yeah, well, again, this could easily tie into that upcoming Black Adam film because that's got, like, Dr. Fate and the Hawk people in it and all these people that are, like, related towards Zatanna in some way.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Man, wouldn't that be funny? We dropped the ball on Justice League. Justice Society of America is where it's at. That's how we launch this franchise, I tell you. That's how we do it. It's going to be all JSA all the time. I mean, it would make sense because the JSA characters are coming back in the comics in a big way. We got Alan Scott coming back. Apparently, a bunch of them are going to be in Infinite Frontier.
Yeah, we're getting them in Stargirl. We're getting Flash this time in Stargirl. And
yeah, we got that whole second season of Stargirl. Ooh, they showed us what Eclipso was going to look like.
Yeah, looked pretty good. Looked a little bit like Ivan Ooze, but fit in with the aesthetic that show's going for.
Very much. It's like, does he look like a weird goblin man? Yes, he does. Okay, then you did your job. I like it. I like that, and I like this too, and I'll definitely have to see Promising Young Woman soon.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Have you seen it yet?
I haven't, no. It's been on my list, though.
Yeah, Bo Burnham is in it, too, because it's like a dark, psychological, like, horror thing, but there's also, like, comedians in it. It's a romance. Apparently, it does, like, a lot of really interesting things.
Yeah, I've heard some very good things about it.
Yeah, a lot of solid character actors. As the chat says, maybe they're building up to a Justice League Dark. Yeah, screw regular Justice League.
Weren't they? I know that there was that whole Guillermo del Toro film, but then
it's supposed to be like a show, wasn't it?
I think it was a movie. Then it was a show, and then J.J. Abrams came in and like his Bad Robot was doing something with it, but I don't think that ever went anywhere.
Yeah, so add Justice League Dark to another thing that's been on the docket for a while in one form or another.
Yeah.
They'll get to it. They'll get to it eventually. We promise. We'll get to it eventually. I would love to see at the Warner Brothers DC offices, they've got like an in pile and an out pile. Why is this in pile so big? Why has nothing gone out yet?
Well, the only thing gone out is Snyder's thing. Did you see the comments from the CEO? That made today, I think.
Oh, yes, I did see that actually.
Yeah, the Snyderverse is over with. It's finished.
Yeah, we're done with this. And honestly, we'll talk about the Snyder Cut at the end, everyone, I promise. Matt and I both saw it. We both have thoughts. But I cannot blame that lady because it's like, yes, look, it's here. We're done. We gave you your cut. We're moving on. We have other things happening. We still took a big loss at this.
Yeah, and again, as I predicted, then the people who wanted this cut aren't happy because they want more.
Well, they were never going to be happy because it was never about the cut. It was about a million other grievances they have. In fact, hey, credit where credit is due to Snyder. This week, as part of promoting the movie, he told a bunch of racist shithead YouTubers to get bent, which is the best marketing the movie's ever had.
He did it after the fact. They raised him a bunch of money for, I think, suicide prevention or something. That was fantastic. And, of course, they all, it's a conspiracy theory, and it was great. It was great watching. Now, if only he can do that with his fan base.
If only. Also, too, Zack, Mr. Snyder, whoever gets you interviews, whoever your assistant is and everything, fire them because they only ever seem to get you into situations where there's at least 3 races around you at any given time.
Yeah, this isn't the first time he's had interviews with problematic people. Like there was that whole one at Fandom where that woman who said some very racist things to people basically simped over him for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Which, again, in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, he must be loving this. He must have a cult of personality. But then he told those people to get bent, and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe he's just a well-meaning idiot. I don't know.
It's very strange.
You're hard to pin down, Zack Snyder. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I think I know you and I think I know what kind of person you are, you shock me with moments like this. I'm like, say what? Go figure. But yeah, like I said, overnight I went from like, okay, I guess I'll watch the Snyder Cut when I got 4 hours to spend. Then I heard that news and I'm like, ooh, I'm excited to watch it now. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna make popcorn. Hey, because that's what it really boils down to, everyone. If you take nothing else away, it's that, hey, we may disagree on creative things. We may disagree on silly, inconsequential things. But at the end of the day, we agree on the important stuff, which is telling internet racists to get bent. So there you go. You know what? I will drink a protein shake for you, sir, and I will hit a tire with a big hammer for you.
I will do some P90X.
There you go, for you, sir. Because you seem all right now. Moving on from there to some news about Free Comic Book Day, which is still coming, even though we're not going to be fucking able to go out. So probably no stores are going to be having events this year. Ugh. But here's a piece of news I never thought I would end up reading, and that is Diamond Distributor won't be doing DC books for Free Comic Book Day in 2021 because they are not together anymore. Also, thank you, Cyborg Soldier.
Shame. I love that Diamond is still coping, still seething about all of this.
From this breakup.
Yeah.
From this breakup, look, it's not you, it's us. No, it's very much you. And also, I cut up all your fucking t-shirts. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. And now people in the chat have to wonder, wait, is Joel the person who cut up someone's shirts, or did they cut up his shirts? I don't know. But yeah, I honestly did not even consider this. When I thought of the big breakup between DC and Diamond, I really didn't. That, yeah, they're the ones who do the Free Comic Book Day stuff. It was all part of their bigger plan to try and get more people into stores and buy more books.
I'd love if DC did something like that's not called Free Comic Book Day, but is on like the same day.
Gimme Comic Book Day, just gimme.
And it ends up being like a runaway success, like the whole digital stuff and everything has been.
They literally could now, where it's like, yeah, we're going to give our books away, not on Free Comic Book Day, though. We're going to do it on our own special day. Hey, call it Fandom.
Yeah, we're going to do it for a whole week.
Yeah, we're going to have Fandom Week. Get to your favorite comic book stores and pick up our big new books. Man, that would be really funny, actually.
That'd be really great, just because I know Bleeding Cool would write some article scathing it.
Oh, of course. Again, too, I don't even think there's like nothing stopping DC if they wanted to put out a free book that day. No. They could.
Yeah, there's no like laws against it.
No, it just feels funny and petty from Diamond's part. It's like, and we're not putting out your book because you're not with us anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, them not being with them anymore really hasn't changed much. The biggest thing that changed is they release on Tuesday now.
Yeah, and I think like the only delay that like my stores have got is when they had that big weather system in America. That was the only time that there was like a delay.
Right, of course. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that one. Man, this story just kind of makes me wistful because it's like, yeah, I guess this is going to be another Free Comic Book Day we're not going to be able to get out again, huh? Aww.
Yeah, well, I'm probably going to be able to get out to it.
My island nation has things under control and everything. Ooh, we know what we're doing, unlike the rest of North America. They're just kind of rolling the dice and being like, how about now?
I coughed in a restaurant last night and didn't get weird looks.
You motherfucker. I dream of the day that I can cough in public and not get looks. Man, it's going to be so weird when this is all done with and we can leave without our masks. We're all going to feel fucking naked.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've got so many nice masks now. I think I might just keep wearing them every day. It's great. I don't have
probably
to...
Probably be for the best.
Yeah. I mean, as we saw with this flu season, everyone was disinfecting and washing their hands and wearing masks, and not near as many people got sick with the flu this year.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Asian world is like, yeah, the West, we've been talking about that
We've
forever.
been doing that for ages. You used to think it was weird.
Yeah, why do you think we do it? And it's like, well, we're sorry, Asian world. You guys were onto something. But yeah, there's your Diamond news, everyone. Now, speaking of DC, in fact, this dovetails quite nicely. Another big piece of news that came down the pipeline from DC this week is a cost increase for select comics, mainly Batman titles, but moving forward now, select Batman books, and probably other books too, but mainly the Batman books right now, are going to be a whole $6.
Yeah, it makes sense it would be for Batman because, of course, they're the highest selling books. I imagine the price isn't going to change that.
No, I don't think so either, because people are going to buy Batman regardless. If they were going to jack the price on any of the books, it was going to be Batman. In fact, I wonder, too, is this the reason they've come out with several fucking brand new Batman anthologies so they can justify charging $6 for them now?
Yeah, and also I have to imagine, because I know a couple of the Batman books have backups as well, they'd be like, well, you're not getting one story, you're getting 2 or 3.
That's their justification. I remember way back when we worked at Name Redacted, I had often, floated this idea, the fear of the $5 comic future. That, once comics hit $5 American, then we're going to see some real, changes in the industry, some real, ripple effects, some butterfly effects. Well, now it's March 2021, and forget $5 future. We've jumped right to a $6 Batman comic future.
Yeah, it's even worse for people like me where there's the conversion rate because
same.
Because I bought all the digital stuff is fine because it's all in USD, but if I want to buy like a physical copy for Future State as a reference, I think a Batman one was about $14 per issue.
You and me both, man. It's goddamn ridiculous if you live in anywhere but the States. And again, I think they will get away with this, as you mentioned, Matt, because it's Batman, and people were going to buy Batman regardless. And I'm sure their hope is, look, we'll jack the price of Batman now to $6 in hopes that we don't have to jack the price of everything else to $5 in a couple years or so. But again, it's going to hurt that international market, man. It's really... I cannot see an instance where this isn't going to hurt the international market, and I wonder how long can they get away with it. Like, look, you can do it, but you better make sure those new Batman books are fucking excellent, because now people will be looking for every opportunity to stop reading or an opportunity to pirate.
Yep. Or just an opportunity like what I do, just wait for trade. Because it's cheaper. It's infinitely cheaper.
Yeah, that's the thing. And, comic books, they are a niche hobby, and they are only becoming a more expensive hobby. Like, it's like, look, I could take that $6 American, which I don't know what that becomes in Canadian, like $8, I think.
Yeah.
Like $8 or something Canadian. I could get like coffee and a bagel with that. Like from Hortons, I could go to Hortons right now and get like a big coffee and a bagel for that type of money that I would spend on one comic. And then it's like, well, what would you enjoy longer, Joel, the physical copy or that coffee and bagel? I don't know. How good coffee and bagel are we talking here? Because sometimes I read a book and like, God damn, did I really spend $6 on that? But with a coffee and bagel, I'm like, I wish I had more coffee and bagel.
Yeah. Well, whenever if I buy like a really expensive book like I have in the past, I always try and justify it's like, well, I'm using it to make a video, and the video will help me make the money back. And
yeah, and if you're smart as a YouTube creator, I get to write this off on my taxes later, so hopefully it makes me some money, and then I can take a little off later, so we can justify it. But unless everyone out there becomes comic book YouTubers professionally, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Unless everyone wants to start working for me, and then I'll just let you read my books. How about that? Everyone join my cult. Come work for me, and I'll let you read the books. That's my carrot and a stick to get you into working for Cape Joel Enterprises.
Yeah, you got to come to our island to read those books.
Man, why didn't I actually call my company for tax reasons Cape Joel Enterprises? That is so lame that I didn't do that. I had to call it something lame and easy. I should have called it Cape Joel Enterprises. Trevor Phillips LLC. Call it something cool. No, just like entertainment solutions. Because it's more than just videos. I can do all sorts of entertainment. I'm just generally entertaining. But yeah, this is what I really don't like about this is I hope it doesn't become such a smash success charging $6 for Batman that Marvel gets the same idea and they're like, oh, you can get away with charging $6 for Batman? Well, we're going to charge $6 for Spider-Man now.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, because Spider-Man's got a couple of books out at the moment as well.
Yeah. And as goes one, often goes the other. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, that or, like, I know, Thor or something, Iron Man.
I mean, this is the horrible thing about comics. They copy each other's good ideas and they copy each other's bad ideas, too.
Yeah.
This is the only industry where I think that happens, where it's like, no, we're going to copy your bad ideas, too, bro.
Yeah. Well, we see it as a bad idea. They're probably making a heap of money off of it, and they think it's a good idea.
Like is it? Oh, I mean, it will probably be very successful for them at first. But like I said, the second the quality starts dropping, people will now have extra reason to stop reading. Is what it is, or pick up something else where it's like, well, I could keep reading The Adventures of Bruce Wayne every week for $6. Hey, I could try the next Batman book digitally.
Yeah. It's cheaper.
It's considerably cheaper, yeah. Hell, I checked out those Jeff Tramiel Truth and Justice books. He's the Craig of the Creek guy who I keep meaning to have on the show. I picked up both of those this week, 99 cents each.
Yep.
I'm like, God damn, that was a good purchase, 99 cents each. I truly believe they may have been the cheapest comics I have bought in a long time that I didn't get out of like a long box for like 6 for $12.
Yep.
But yeah, so there's your new future, everyone. $6 Batman comics. Catch the fever. Get hype for it.
Yep, and people will be getting hype for it. I imagine they're going to sell out.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, they will buy it because, as we have seen time and time again, Batman fans are a little insatiable.
Yep.
They will do the thing. Moving on from there to some new Marvel stuff here. Ed Brisson was named this week as the official writer for the brand new Predator comic.
Yes, I'm very excited for this. The Alien book by Philip Kennedy Johnson actually comes out this week.
That's right. I'm actually glad that I got to read Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman work, so now I kind of have a better frame of reference for what he does. And yeah, it's a bold new future for Marvel, Matt, with aliens and predators.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I saw the preview for the Alien one and it looks great.
Yes, I agree. It's super cool. Some fun variant covers going around as well. That new Captain America 27 had a cool one with Cap like shielding an alien in the face.
Yeah.
It was also kind of hard to, search this book this week for the show because I kept writing Predator into the search engine. It's like, hey, do you want to know what YouTuber got caught
is a predator these days?
Yeah, this week. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, how many of these happened this week? Oh, at least 2. Okay, fuck. No, I meant cool Predator. No, I mean not cool Predator. I mean movie Predator. No, not actor who turned out to be a sexual predator. I mean Alien Predator. No, not the movie Alien Predator. God damn it. This job, everyone, I tell ya. But yeah, this looks cool. I really wonder what kind of stories they're going to tell with this. Are they going to, hook it right in right away to the bigger Marvel universe? Or are they going to do what they did with Conan and Ultraman? And that is like, no, here's some stories on their own. And then once we get a good head of steam going, and then we'll start working stuff in.
I think these ones are on their own because I know at least the Predator one is in the future because it's about a girl whose like family was killed by a predator and she goes hunting for the exact same predator in the future at some point.
Also, too, are we going to see Predators from the movie, or are we creating brand new Predators for the Marvel Universe? Because they all have, like fun little code names that the fans call them.
Yeah, I have to imagine we'll probably get both. I have to imagine eventually we're going to get like, oh, here's Dutch. Here's Danny Glover's character.
As the chat is saying, just make Conan versus Predator already. Oh,
they're
that's
building
in
to
their
that.
pocket.
They're going to set these up and they're going to build them towards Alien versus Predator and then do whatever else after that.
I pitched it as a team, but seriously, Conan, Alien, Predator, Ultraman all together on one team. Oh, we call them the Acquisitionables because we acquired them through other means. Team Acquisition. Man, who else can they put on that team? Who else can they get?
Yeah.
Man, if you told me that, Marvel and Predator, that they'd start making comics from them again, I'd be like, fuck off. That this is the new future we're in now, where Marvel is just such this big entertainment multimedia juggernaut, where it's like, look, do you have a cool thing that we can turn into a comic? We can.
Yeah, we'll have a crossover with these. We'll have a crossover with the stuff Tom Taylor was doing with was it Dark Agnes, Solomon Kane, right. All of those characters.
I forgot that was a big cross. Yeah, Zub did that. Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, all these Robert E. Howard things. Now Tarzan can be here too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can they use Tarzan? Is Tarzan in the public domain?
I don't know.
I mean, it's got to be 100 years old, Tarzan.
I mean, Disney made a movie about it, and there's like 100 other companies made movies about it, so I have to imagine.
That's true. I mean, but isn't like Kazar their Tarzan anyway?
Yeah.
That's the problem. They have so many characters that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's already a deal. What about Hannibal? When they can get a Hannibal, Matt, let him join the team. Dr. Hannibal Lecter on the Acquisitionables. Look, just make him look like frickin' Mad Melkinson, and tell everyone that it's a continuation of that TV show they like.
Season 3, it got a little bit out of hand.
For real, yeah, he started fighting predators. Look, the way that show was going, if he started fighting aliens and predators, I'd be like, nah, this tracks.
Yeah, this is about right, yeah.
Yeah, he fought the Red Dragon, and then he fought the Predator. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works out. That's all good. Seriously, that show is fucking nuts because literally that show makes being a serial killer out to being a goddamn Jedi. You can sense other serial killers when they're near. I feel him. I sense him in the Force. And then I keep bringing up, there's an episode of that Hannibal show, which is an excellent show, by the way. Brian Fuller did a really good job. It's a good show. Where there is a guy who wears a bear suit to kill people, but he has like hydraulic jaws and everything on his bear suit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, motherfucker, he's a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah. Like half the people on there were like Spider-Man villains, or like villains you'd like see the Punisher go up against, like a Jigsaw or something.
Literally, look, I'm just saying, here's my pitch. Hannibal Lecter gets moved to Ravencroft Asylum. So whenever Spider-Man or anyone else has a problem with a serial killer, they just go to Ravencroft and be like, I want to talk to Dr. Lecter.
I want to say there was someone like pitched like a comment which was like a Freddy versus Jason versus Hannibal sort of thing. I want to say that happened at some point.
Yeah, they did have Freddy versus Jason versus the Army of Darkness, which wasn't as good.
No.
Not as good as the first Freddy versus Jason that they did.
Yeah.
But, Punisher versus Hannibal, when's that going to be a thing?
But that would be so cut and dry. Punisher would just shoot him in the fucking head.
Yeah, done. Why didn't anyone start with this? I'm not mad that you're bad, Frank. I'm mad that you're Oh, sorry, what was that? What were you going to say? That I was sloppy? I don't feel too sloppy. And then moves on with his day. Man, that's what they got to do, like a horror parody comic with the Punisher, where he just like shoots the slasher in the first couple minutes.
Yeah, the comic's like only like 2 pages long.
The joke is that you totally flip it on its ear, and normally like they're the ones stalking defenseless people all over the place, but now it's the Punisher, stalking them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what the Punisher Warzone movie was, and why I liked it. I'm like, oh yeah, he's just a machete-wielding nut job you can't run away from. Because he's going to punch your head off, and then he's going to blow you up with a rocket launcher while you're doing parkour. And so apparently Lexi Alexander sucks, but that movie's still good.
Yeah, she's not a very good person.
No, she blocked me on Twitter actually a very long time ago, and I don't even remember why.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, no, wait, I do remember why. It was when Fury Road came out, and I pointed out the very clear history of homoeroticism in those movies, and I don't think she liked that.
It's very clear.
I'm like, Lexi, they were called gay boy berserkers and smegma crazies. Like, literally, there is so much homoeroticism in those movies. Like, that's kind of the point, but okay, whatever. Turns out the internet turned on you anyway, so it's fine. All right, what else do we got going on after that? Ooh, we got a new Alpha Flight comic, a miniseries coming from Al Ewing.
We do.
In fact, if you read the last Immortal Hulk book, this series basically got backdoor piloted.
Yeah.
It's going to be them. We still got, Doc Sasquatch, who was a combination of Doc Samson and Sasquatch, in case you wondered what that thing was.
Yep.
We also got Absorbing Man and his wife, as well as Puck and Dr. McGowan, who has really become one of the most prominent trans characters in Marvel, and I love that she gets to be on the cover of something.
It's really cool. It's really interesting seeing Titania and Crusher there, because I'm fairly certain Crusher was dead for a while. Like, because he was in that Black Bolt book, and he like kind of sacrificed himself, and
yes, and then he became the Red Absorbing Man. Yeah. In Immortal Hulk, and then he fought the Hulk, and then he died again and went to the place below all. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's back alive. Is he back alive yet, or is he not? But
maybe this will be it.
Yeah, he's in the book, so clearly he's going to be here. I love the idea that Absorbing Man and his wife Titania have just kind of become good guys now.
Yeah, I like it. Their journey to a good guy through the Inhumans book was like fantastic.
It's been really, really solid. And also, too, this basically, confirms, too, that even though Immortal Hulk is ending at issue 50, as the chat is saying in September or October, it's still probably going to continue in this form.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's take on the Hulk will still continue somewhere.
Absolutely. And hey, there's still, plates in the air that Ewing could do something with. The fact that General Ross came back in Captain America and became the Red Hulk again. Mm-hmm. But he might not be a bad guy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
there's still a bridge they got across. The fact that Betty Ross just left the book, but was still the Harpy, and who looks like her and the Hulk might be going to join Doctor Strange's new Defenders.
Ooh.
Which actually makes that Defenders a book I really want to read. But yes, there's Gamma Flight, everyone. That's cool.
That's cool.
I appreciate that that's a series, which, comes about mainly just on the strength of Immortal Hulk.
Yeah. Just how well that book did.
Absolutely. That these minor characters get a spinoff. Speaking of spin-offs, hey, let me tell you about Rail Racer, Matt, the brand new Captain America-inspired hero for Chris Cantwell's new series, The United States of Captain America, coming soon.
Yes, he's the Captain America of the railroads.
Man, everything about this character I just fucking love. I want American flag overalls. Like, I saw this costume and I'm like, yes. And then when I heard his story where it's like, yeah, he's a defender of LGBT youth who rides the rails, getting into fist fights with bigots. And I'm like, nope, stop. You hit oil. You hit it. I love everything about this character. It's like, oh yeah, and he's just going to be one of many Captain America inspired heroes that like Steve meets along the way. And I'm like, okay, Christopher Cantwell, I'm fucking in.
Yeah.
I love, too, that his shield basically is like a trash can lid that he spray painted.
Yeah, it's great. It's great street level cap.
Yeah, I love the tattoos. Like, seriously, like, I'm not a cosplay dude, but this is easily the most cosplayable costume ever. Like, I will cosplay as this character. Finally, a Captain America that I can be. I fucking love everything about this design. Rail Racer, that's good. Also, too, speaking of Captain America, I guess the Ta-Nehisi Coates run is coming to an end soon. I think they finally announced.
Yeah, I have to imagine it's on like what, issue 26 or 7? Yeah,
it is. So I'm imagining it's going to end near the end of this arc. It looks like Coates put into place because he finally cleared his name for Ross's murder, which was basically the driving force behind the whole book since it began.
Yep.
So we're clearing that up. He's just got to deal with Red Skull, Red Skull's on Twitter now. That's how that story went.
I thought that might be where that was going.
Literally, he's on Twitter now, and he's like, wait a minute. So, World War II, I spent all this time trying to, like, point hate and weaponize hate in the hearts of men to, seek my own ends and everything. But wait a minute. Hate's already perfect as it is. Everyone in America already hates each other. Oh my God, I don't have to do anything. I could just go on Twitter, say some inflammatory shit, and they'll kill each other.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing now. Like, literally, he's like, Sin, my daughter, teach me how to use the internet. And she's like, okay, Dad. And then, like, yeah, literally, he just gets a Twitter account. And just like in real life, I bet Jack won't, ban this Nazi supervillain.
No.
Yeah. And, like, literally, he's just, talking all that Tucker Carlson shit at Captain America. He doesn't really love America. He won't debate me in the marketplace of ideas. He's the captain of nothing. And they're like, yeah, this Red Skull guy's really saying, he's saying what we're all feeling, right, guys? And I'm like, I hate that was so easy for Red Skull. And also, like, yeah, totally.
Yeah, that is exactly how it would go.
That's exactly how it would go. And Steve's like, fuck, do I have to get on Twitter and fight him now? What do I do? Like, I can't go beat him up now. Like, whoa, what do I do? Yeah, you're right, Jane. The Red Skull, massive boomer energy on the computer. Now, how do I send the GIFs in? It's a GIF, Dad. Yeah, whatever. And the fact that he's actually, like, getting a good relationship with his daughter now for the first time ever because she's actually seeing him as, like, a human being and not, like, the weird god figure he always told her he was.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they're bonding over inciting hatred in America.
Yeah, they're literally bonding over shitposting.
Oh, that's great.
That's become the new thing. Like, I never really loved my father until we shitposted together. Oh, man. Now she's going to start doing Nazi makeup tutorials later. Now, see, Red Skull, if you really want to take over the world, the final frontier is TikTok. Can you set your Hydra ideals to a 3-minute dance? Well, can ya? I will try. But yeah, so there's United States of Captain America. This is going to be a mini, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, looks cool.
Yeah, it was Christopher Cantwell. He's been doing wonders over on Iron Man, so I'll definitely be picking this up.
Yeah, I gotta sit down and I gotta read that because you said such great things about it, and I gotta read his Doctor Doom too.
Yeah.
for the same reason. But yeah, there's Rail Racer for you, everyone. And hey, again, perfect segue, because we're talking about Captain America. A big, important Captain America-centric thing dropped this week, didn't it, Matt? Well, technically last week, because it's Monday now.
It did. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes, a little show you may have heard of, a little underground production there. No one really knows what to make. But actually, I just read before we started, it's the biggest digital premiere of all time.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, which blows me away. I'm like, really? Bigger than Mandalorian? Bigger than WandaVision? This was the one.
Yeah, well, again, it's characters, I think, that are a bit more popular than WandaVision and all that.
And also, I'm sure the people who checked out on WandaVision because they're like, I can't follow this, or like, I don't understand all these old American TV show references they're making. Well, here you go, because Falcon and Winter Soldier is basically a Marvel movie told over multiple parts is what it seems to be.
It is. Except those people still found something to complain about, and we'll talk about that. Oh,
of course. Absolutely. So yeah, this show wastes absolutely zero time getting started as we see Sam in his role as, superhero military contractor guy, trying to save a hostage from Batroc Zilipa in the LAF.
Yes, it was so good to see Batroc back.
Yes, with a costume that looks even more like his comic costume.
Yes.
Man, Chuck Liddell must be so fucking happy that they got him back.
No, not Chuck Liddell. It's George St. Pierre.
St. Pierre, thank you.
So yes, they look the same. Chuck Liddell was his stand-in.
Yeah, big tough fighty man. I don't watch MMA. I watch that fake ass wrestling. But no, he's really good in the role and actually really physical. And I like that they actually got a French guy to play the famously French villain. Mm-hmm. Also fitting, too, because, again, when Sam became Captain America in that Remember comic early on, Batroc was actually one of the first villains he fought, so I enjoyed that bit of connective tissue.
Yeah.
Moreover than that, I mean, you get that big action scene at the beginning to tide you over, because the rest of the show is actually pretty, not downbeat, but, pretty mellow and pretty easygoing.
Pretty mundane stuff for heroes.
Which I love, between this and between Superman and Lois, we are in a golden age of superheroes dealing with mundane, everyday problems.
Yeah, it's as I said on Twitter, it's just, I love that stuff. It humanizes these larger-than-life characters.
Makes sense, too, because it's something that the movies could never really tackle that hard, because it's like, hey, we only got 2 hours, we got to give the people what they came for. It's
surprising how many people are only just, starting to realize that. These movies can't do that because they have a set time. They've got to keep the plot moving and everything. We can't stop to have Sam dealing with, his sister's loan problems. But here we can.
Absolutely. And, it's something we always got as comic readers, and now it's something we're seeing beautifully translated into television, because it's sometimes you really grow to like a character and really understand them when you see them out of the costume, when you see them doing just regular people stuff.
Yeah, it's why in those first 2 Avengers films, the stuff with the Avengers at Avengers Tower just chilling after the party, that stuff's really good.
It's necessary. It's necessary.
Yeah.
Is what it truly is. And in fact, we'll talk about that necessary thing when we talk about the next thing. But like you said, we actually get to meet Sam's family in New Orleans, which is a bit of a retcon from the comics. In the comics, he was a New York boy himself, and his father was a preacher and everything. But this is fine. It's interesting to have a character of the Marvel Universe who is not from New York.
That's what I was going to say. I have to imagine they probably saw it and it's all these other characters are going to be in and around New York. Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Loki, all this stuff. We'll move him out of it.
We know Bucky is already from New York, so it's if we make them both guys from New York.
Yeah.
Let's make him, somewhere from the American South and everything. So, we can talk about New Orleans and everything that's going on there. His big mission in this episode is trying to get a bank loan for his sister and his nephew so they can, save the family shrimping business and everything that has fallen on hard times, especially harder times now post the blip.
Yeah, we find, obviously he was blipped out. His family wasn't. So, and lots of stuff happened in that time. Rules changed regarding loans and how you can get money from the bank and everything.
As it would.
As it would. And I like that they tied that in as well with very, very real systemic racism stuff.
Yes. systemic racism and also, again, one of the big themes of the Captain America movies in general, and something that they are really running with here, this idea of how veterans are treated when they return home. And, Sam is a literal veteran and a superhero veteran now. And even though he saved the world, the predatory financial institutions of America are still ready to take him for a ride, while also asking for a picture because, thank you for your service, but no, we can't help you.
Yeah.
Which, again, is another one of those things where it's like, hey, you can think it's because he's black, you can think it's because he's a veteran, you can think it for any other thing, or you can be one of those people on Twitter who started blaming Steve Rogers and Tony Stark for not paying him. It's like, guys, that wasn't what that scene was about.
Well, not only that, that's addressed in that scene as... did these people just not listen to that, where Sam says they don't do it for the money, they do it for the goodwill? No. And there's also always the fact that, like, if they can be paid, that means there's the opportunity that they could be bought.
Exactly, which, again, I think that makes perfect sense. Yeah, superheroes shouldn't make money doing what they do. And like he says, yeah, we get by mostly on the goodwill of strangers is what we do. I think there's something very pure and beautiful and powerful about that, but people just totally took the wrong thing for that for some reason.
Yeah, and as well as if it was the other way around, where suddenly he's like, oh, Tony Stark left me $1 billion in his will, like, they would complain about that because that's just fixing the problem straight away.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, now he's not relatable anymore because a magic white man died and gave him a bunch of money and everything.
Yeah.
Which, from what I understand, apparently Rhodey was left a lot of money, and he's doing quite well. I like that scene, too, with Rhodey and Sam just talking to each other, because they didn't really get much of a time to interact in the Avengers movies.
Yeah, and it's even better because they're both part of the Air Force and everything, and you'd think they would have time to interact, but yeah, it's great to see that, and hopefully we get more of that.
Yeah, the mystery too of like what has happened to Steve Rogers? Is he dead? Is he missing? Is he retired? They don't actually give us an answer.
I don't. What I think the heroes and all that know, but like what they're doing is they're keeping it from the public and maybe doing something like, oh, he tried to return the stones and he never came back, but the stones were returned, and it's like kind of giving Steve that out, where he can go spend time with his family and whatnot.
I like they said, is he on the moon? I'm like, this isn't the Avengers video game. Get out of here with that. But maybe he is on the moon, though. I don't know.
Yeah, on the blue side of the moon.
On the blue side of the moon where there's air, of course. Yeah, where else could Captain America retire? Not on Earth. They have so many alien friends now. He's just got a cottage on the moon. But yeah, so Sam's going through some hard stuff. Bucky is going through some hard stuff too. And again, playing into that whole, veterans issues and everything there. He is still awash in PTSD, and part of his parole and kind of, getting his slate wiped for all the crimes he committed as the Winter Soldier is he has to take, mandatory psychological counseling.
Yeah, and sort of discuss with the counselor his past and how he's, as well as that, he's trying to atone for what he didn't pass. He's got a list, like how Steve had a list of things to catch up on. He's got a list of things to amend.
I like that, actually, kind of drawing a parallel between the two characters. And also, too, Steve used numbers, he used letters.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fun little touch there. And of course, in classic Bucky way, there's like, yes, I'm making amends to all the people I hurt, and also trying to, take down a lot of bad people who I put into power along the way. And I'm like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah, he's got a list of all the people he helped get into like American government and input with Hydra and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Very, very classic comic Winter Soldier is what that is. And, of course, too, and what is becoming an odd bit of recurring theming for Bucky, he befriends an old Japanese man whose son that he murdered, and it's like, damn, Bucky, you love befriending people whose family members you've killed. Shit.
That was a really great reveal, because at first I didn't catch the guy's name, and I thought it was like, oh, that's going to be like old Jim Morita from World War II that he fought in World War II with.
Same, that's what I thought. They're like
buddies
too.
now. And then it was revealed that it's the father of the guy he killed in that flashback we first see him in. And like, oh, that's so cool.
The second he said dead son, I'm like, oh, what, did Bucky kill his son? Oh, fuck, yes, he did, actually. And he can't date and everything. He's just having a rough time. Man, it's hell being Bucky, isn't it? Which, I mean, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Steve was, like a beacon. He was a celebrity. This guy did so much bad stuff. So, he's like the complete opposite of that.
Yeah, I like I think it's both Bucky and the therapist that mentioned it, where Bucky mentions about how in Wakanda he had calm, he had peace, it was good, and then it all came back to bite him in the ass. But I like what the therapist said is like that can be dangerous as well, like that where you're left on your own and with your own thoughts and everything. That can be very dangerous, especially for veterans.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
they definitely did their homework on this one when it comes to veterans issues,
absolutely,
and PTSD and coming. I was reminding. Oh, thank you, Envious Cosplay.
Thank you.
Appreciate. I was actually reminded very much of the stuff they did with the Punisher and everything in that first season.
Yeah,
and I appreciated that, which again plays into that bigger idea that I might be talking about later on the channel, that people seem really obsessed with this idea where it's like, are Marvel movies part of, American military propaganda? No, I don't think so.
No. They might look like it on the surface, but not really.
But if you actually dig a little deeper, I think this show really goes out of its way to showcase where it's like, nah, it kind of sucks. It's not glorious or heroic. I mean, we're glorious and heroic because we're superheroes, but in our normal, regular life, we keep getting raked across the coals. Ooh, I forgot too. Sam's military buddy there, his little liaison. That's Joaquin Torres. That's the second Inhuman version of Falcon from the comics.
Yeah, they just casually just drop him in as Sam's handler partner guy.
Which makes me think, hey, if Sam ends this as Captain America, as we all think he will, does that mean that Joaquin Torres will be right there to pick up the mantle?
Hopefully, yeah. Does that also
Falcon
mean
too?
Maybe they're doing something with Inhumans?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, wouldn't that be some shit that he ends up getting exposed to some Terrigen mist during these next couple episodes?
Yeah, and then he's in Miss Marvel or something.
Yeah, grow some wings. That would be fun. I like that he's a dork, that he's like, oh, I'm on my phone and everything, and you're so cool, Falcon. I like that he's a bit of a dork.
Yeah.
Bit of a dork. What else we got in this one? We got the Flag Smashers.
We did. We get to see their little story, which is they're robbing banks all over the world to, I guess, fund their agenda.
Yes, which in this universe is inspired by Thanos, which is kind of interesting. They think the world was better with half as many people, and that, we should tear down, all the nations of the world again and have, a world without borders, which again, a lot of people seem to have taken the wrong way on social media again, where it's like, oh, Marvel is saying it's wrong to want a world with no borders. No, they're just saying that the Flag Smashers' way of going about it is wrong.
Yeah, and again, it's like an organic way to tell the story because it's both something that's quite realistic and as well tied into the overall MCU plot.
Most definitely. Also, too, come on, there's a 90% chance here that the Flag Smashers are actually a fake smokescreen operation by the American government so they can help prop up their new sponsored Captain America, John Walker.
Yeah, who we only get a brief glimpse at the end, which I'm very glad about. I thought we were just going to cut straight into it.
Same. It's a good twist too, especially for people who haven't read the comics and don't know that's coming. Where it's like, yeah, because they make a big deal about Sam stepping down, and the politician there is like, oh, it's good, Sam, that you stepped down. You're doing the right thing. Yeah, we'll keep the shield safe in the Swiss. Okay, the black guy's gone. Give it to someone else.
Yep.
That's I think Jordan Peele would be proud about that kind of not in your face racism, but still very much racism.
Yes.
Where it's like, why wasn't I okay? Why did you say I was good out of one side of your mouth and then give it to a white guy who will follow orders? Mm-hmm. I'm really interested to see how Wyatt Russell is going to play the character too.
Yeah, well, in interviews I've heard that it sounds like they're going to be doing the not the version. Everyone seems to have assumed that the version they're going to do is just going to be total MAGA US agent, but it sounds like they're doing it more like how he's been more recently written, which is he's just this kind of a dumb guy who just follows orders.
Yeah, I believe in every bit of American imperialism. I believe in American exceptionalness. I will still try and save people and still try and be a hero, but I'm also going to be a giant dumbass while I do it.
Yeah, they also mentioned he's not an actual super soldier. He's just a normal guy.
Interesting. I wonder how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
Huh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Also, the fact, too, that we see the Flag Smasher from the trailers, the young woman who was ironically the same woman from Solo, and the idea being where it's like, oh, there kind of seems to be two leaders of the Flag Smashers here, because there was 2 Flag Smashers in the comics too.
Yep.
And one seems to be a gender bent version of the other. So yeah, that's I'm interested to see where that's going to go, because one guy clearly seemed to have powers of some variety.
Well, yeah, I think most of them actually do. I know at least in the trailer it looks like the girl had powers as well.
Right. One Flag Smasher was a life model decoy too.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I wonder, will they bring that in here, the concept of life model decoys?
That'd be cool.
It would be, yeah. Again, explain how some people can have powers and be in multiple places at once.
Yeah.
Also, too, I like this was the first episode and we haven't heard hide nor hair of Zemo, even though we know he's going to be a big deal in the show.
Do you think he's just going to be a third party? Because I know people think, oh, he's going to tie into the Flag Smashers and it's going to be like his sort of organization. But I have a feeling he's going to be a a third wheel, like just sort of in the plot, because I think he's on Bucky's list. Because there's the name Zemo on his list, H Zemo, and I think that's Heinrich Zemo.
Interesting. And yeah, quite possibly. I mean, as we saw with WandaVision, they're not afraid anymore of being able to juggle multiple villainous factions at once.
Yeah, do you think like maybe Bucky goes to like see him and try and atone for it, and that's how he gets involved in the plot? They try and attack Bucky while he sees him or something?
Maybe they're setting him up for season 2 or another movie or somewhere. It's like, no, he's not actually the main villain of this.
He's only in the last episode.
Or if my theory pays off, and again, if this happens, I will go through the roof with joy on this one. Zemo is here because they need to set up the Thunderbolts as another spin-off.
The government are using him.
Exactly, that's
it's
the
like
thing.
Part of his pardon or something.
Exactly. We see General Ross come out and be like, look, I'll let you go for a reason, Zemo, and that is, these Avengers, we can't trust them anymore. They barely saved us the last time, so I'm putting together a team of my own.
Yeah, Ross is still, like, trying to go after Sam and Bucky, even though they've been pardoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, they may have been pardoned by the government, but not by me.
I don't give up on anything. I'm still hunting Bruce Banner.
That, too. It's like, I also hate the Hulk because he fucked my daughter, Liv Tyler. That is my origin and why I'm angry. Yep. That's why. Look at my mustache. Do you see it? Look at it. And then he becomes Red Hulk.
Yep.
Because that's how it happens. Because, yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, with all these different villains running around, you could actually probably end up building a pretty decent Thunderbolts team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and again, that's what we haven't seen yet. We've had Thanos as a big villain. What do you do next after the big villain? Naturally, you do the villainous team.
Mm-hmm.
We can do everything you can do, but we're evil.
Yep.
That's what I would do for it. Yeah, that's right. We also got that She-Hulk show coming up, too, so that would be a good way to, again, get more Ross in there. And apparently we're finally going to do something with the Abomination.
Yeah, he's a part of that show as well, yeah.
Yeah, so again, there's another guy who could potentially be on the Thunderbolts. Hey, same with Batroc, he can come too.
Yeah, and I have to imagine whoever's in Armor Wars, Justin Hammer or something.
Yeah,
to
I'd
see
really
him
like
on it, yeah.
that. Again, I keep saying they should do, Ezekiel Stane, Obadiah Stane's son.
That'd be pretty cool.
Just to come back and, again, tie it back to the original Iron Man. Like, oh, yeah, Stane had a son, actually. Because, man, that first, Matt Fraction Iron Man run with Ezekiel Stane as the villain is really, really good.
Yeah. Does Jeff Bridges have a son that looks like him? Can we get him involved?
Yeah, maybe. Why not? If not, we'll just use the de-aging tech that Marvel has.
Yeah.
Quick, throw him in the fountain of
We'll just
youth
put
we
hair
got
on
out
him.
back.
We'll just put hair on him.
There you go. That's all you need to do. But yeah, so that was Falcon and Winter Soldier, and again, off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, and this is only going to be 6 episodes.
Yeah, it's going to be shorter. That's fine.
Yeah.
Not all of them need to be as long as WandaVision was.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued to see how they're going to handle all these storylines over 6 episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, this episode 1, it's like, oh, we got a lot of story and a lot of sub stories.
Yeah, I have to imagine the next episode this week is just going to be about like new Captain America.
Yeah, we got to learn about him and everything. Man, Disney Plus, they've really hit their stride now with shows where it's like, okay, WandaVision's done, wait a week, now we got this. Okay, this is done, wait a week, and doesn't the Bad Batch come back after this?
I think they're going to alternate. They go, oh, here's Star Wars, Bad Batch, and then I think after that finishes, we get Black Widow somewhere in between there, and then in June we get Loki.
Yes, that's right, which we saw the poster for Loki. It's, Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson getting together talking about it.
Yes.
So that show's also further along than we thought.
Mm-hmm. I think it's finished. I think it's actually finished filming.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
Man, I am really excited to see Owen Wilson in something.
Something different.
Yeah, I know. Hey, guys, it's me, Owen Wilson.
I'm Mephisto.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm man. Again, I still hope we're right about that Owen Wilson is fucking Mephisto. I really hope he's the goddamn devil.
I'm the engineer from WandaVision.
It was me all along. You didn't see it, but it was me, Owen Wilson. I'm the Lord of Lies and the Prince of Darkness. Crash upon me and be broken. Hey, Tom Holland, you want to sell your marriage to me right quick? I'm not married. Oh, okay, but when you are, though, I like to buy marriages. It's kind of my thing. Speaking of Tom Holland, and this has nothing to do with anything, I saw that movie Cherry this week.
It was pretty good, eh?
It was quite good. You know what it reminded me of? It was like an American Train Spotting.
Yeah, it very much is, with like the fourth wall breaking and like the very comedic, semi-serious tone.
Very, where it's like we're dealing with horrifying subject matter, but it's darkly funny, and characters break the fourth wall and everything, and the ending is kind of happy, but you're not sure.
Yeah, I had no idea it was based on a true story.
Yeah, I did actually, but then again, it's like it's a true story where it's like, man, this could be anybody's true story.
Yeah.
Is Cherry on Amazon or Netflix? It's on Apple, I do believe.
Yes.
Apple got the rights to that one.
Yep.
I know it's impossible now to keep up with all the fucking movies on all the fucking streaming services.
Yes, it's on Quibi.
Quibi. Nothing's on Quibi. What's on Quibi? Nothing. You want to piss off a comedian from LA, just mention Quibi, because chances are they probably had a project on that got canceled. Because they just gave it out to everybody. Oh, there you go. If you know someone with Apple, check it out. I know a friend of the show, Jason Inman, was talking about it because obviously, he went into the military service and fought overseas much in the same time that show or that movie is taking place.
Yep.
So, like, he knew lots of guys who that's how they ended up going.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, just, the friggin' pharmaceutical company in the United States there. Hey, you got PTSD? You want some Oxycontin?
Yeah,
we
we'll
got
just
lots
give
of
you
Oxycontin.
this unregulated.
Highly addictive. And, as we find out later, doctors were actually getting, like, incentives and shit for signing it over to people. Oops.
Yeah.
And then when those people can't get their oxys anymore, a new heroin wave hit America because heroin was a cheaper, more effective high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Loved what they did with one of the bad guys in that movie where we never see his face and he's always shown in shadows. He's got like a weird devil voice.
Yeah, that what was his name? Shadow or something? Black or something?
Oh, yeah, Black. They just called him Black. So he's going to put his black mask on. He's going to put his black mask on, man.
Yeah.
I love how weirdly artistic it is. And all the sign gags. That movie was filled with sign gags.
Yeah, his shithole bank and everything. And
shithole bank. Instead of Capital One, it was called Capitalism 1 WON.
Yeah.
Like, again, just such a fucking weird movie. Good on the Russos for that.
Yeah, very creative looking.
Very. Also showing, too, that Tom Holland has a lot of range outside just being Spider-Man.
He can act.
He can act his ass off, yeah. All right, then I guess from there we can move on to the other big superhero thing that came out this week. It was 4 hours long and felt every minute of it. It's the Snyder Cut, everybody.
Yeah, it came out and everyone's praising it despite it being the same movie, just longer.
Yeah, I'm glad we could admit that. Everyone's like, I remember reading the tweets because, like, everyone decided they were going to live tweet this one for some reason. Mm-hmm. Even if they, like, are podcasters or not. And it's like, oh, there's so much more story now here. No, there isn't.
It's literally the same movie with Joss Whedon's little inserts cut out.
All gone.
And all the other scenes just extended longer than they actually need to be. You can tell why this was cut down.
Yes, in fact, this movie, if nothing else, really put me in the mindset of like a film producer or like a Warner Brothers bigwig. Because again, apparently this is every bit the 4 hours that he shot that scared the crap out of the higher ups. But they're like, oh no, none of this is releasable, Zach. You gotta cut this down. And I'm not gonna lie, everything they cut, yeah, I probably would have cut it too, actually.
Yeah, it's way too overindulgent. However, there were some scenes, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, that I wish they had kept in, but I know why they cut them out, because then it would change other things, and yeah.
Again, I'm not going to say that like, oh, it's bad, it's a total failure. No, it's the same movie I didn't like before, but it's a more complete movie now. And in fact, the stuff they did change, and the stuff that I will actually give them thumbs up and go, oh yeah, you actually changed that for the better, was a lot of like the nerdy minutia stuff. That pissed me off originally, where it's like, so one of the first things they do is like, okay, they changed this scene with Aquaman that was clearly, you know, cut to pieces early on, so Batman actually does know who Aquaman is, instead of in the original version where he looked like an idiot and didn't know that he was talking to Aquaman, despite the fact that he had Luthor's files and Amanda Waller's files all clearly showing.
Well, I think in the theatrical he was meant to be like coyly, like, oh, I don't know who you are, like, but it didn't come off as like a joke. It just made him look like a fucking idiot.
No, and the fact that he had to look at the tapestry and be like, hey, I think you're the Aquaman. Are you the Aquaman? Yes, he's clearly the Aquaman. Also, too, they no longer say in this version of it, where it's like, oh, the mother boxes woke up because Superman died. They don't say it, but it's very clearly his death that wakes up. They just don't say it anymore.
That doesn't make any sense, because that's what the whole movie's based on. Because now that Superman is dead, Steppenwolf and Darkseid can come back to the planet and destroy it. I get,
despite
there being 1,000 years between when he was defeated the first time and Superman being there, you know.
And that Superman was only Superman for like what, maybe a couple years?
No, not even a year. Like, I think just a year, because I think Batman v Superman takes place like a couple of months after Man of Steel.
Right. That he was only that for a time. So they fix that, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. They dump a lot of the shit with the parademons, where it's like, okay, now they don't imply that they're just mutated humans. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So now the heroes aren't killing people that they probably should have been trying to save. I can appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. That's a good fix. Good on you for that. They still murder the shit out of Steppenwolf later on, though.
Yeah. The one scene I kind of wish was in there was that Batman scene from the theatrical cut where he goes after that criminal. Not for the stupid thing where like he kills that parademon and there's like 3 boxes. That doesn't make any sense. But just for the fact that was something Batman would do, like going after a criminal, like I would have liked to have seen that.
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely something. The Amazons get a longer, more intense fight. Now, in fact, 90% of the stuff that they've added to this movie was just longer fight scenes.
Extended scenes or like alternate takes.
Yeah, was all they really added into it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that, you know, the Amazons fought a little harder and didn't go down as easy, because I really did appreciate how they were in that first Wonder Woman movie. But again, that's like half an hour in, and like, okay, so nothing's actually happened half an hour into this, because we went from fight scene to fight scene to fight scene.
And I'm pretty sure that scene as well with the Amazonians is like, it's like 10 minutes long. It's like, I can understand why this was cut down to like make it, speed it up a little bit and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this movie goes at what most might call a glacial pace in the first hour. And again, no more do I think it is better personified than Bruce Wayne going across the Arctic on his horse for like 15 minutes.
I tell you what, other scene does that, where they fire that arrow. How they got to bring out the case, they got to up the case, they got to say some enchantment, they got to get the arrow out, they got to say another enchantment, they got to knock it, they got to shoot it. No.
And again, It's like, guys, you got it in one. You already explained it to me. It's fine. She'll know what it means. Cool.
Yeah. And then you did the little thing on the TV where you say, oh, it's in the Amazonian temple. That's all you needed.
was all you needed. That was fine. But no, we filmed this. This is my vision, my 4-hour cut. You're gonna get all of it. I could not help but be reminded of that Patton Oswalt bit where he's like, every movie you love was directed by a man but edited by a woman, and you can tell because it's like, oh, every frame is a fucking painting. Every idea is my children. I'm just shooting so much film all over the place. Oh, just see how much film I shot. No, Zach, we're not going to release a 4-hour version of this. Let's try and cut this down and find some story and character and theme and try and make this, into something viewable. And again, the ironic thing is that if you did actually cut this down to like 2 hours, it would probably have been a lot more.
You could probably
solid.
cut it down to maybe like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 2:45, and you wouldn't really lose much. You'd lose all that like extra stuff that had no point being in there.
No, where it's like, now Mara needs an origin story. Why?
Yeah, and why is she British now?
Man, that's a real hell of a thing. You know what that is? That's clearly... Zack made the movie before Aquaman even really got rolling, and so they had no idea what that movie was supposed to be, and they're like, fuck it, whatever, we're just gonna do this.
Yeah, and he had that stupid, like, we're gonna talk in an air bubble.
Yeah, that is not a thing in Aquaman, and I'm like, oh yeah, because Aquaman clearly wasn't a thing yet, and because they made this movie in a fucked up way that no one got solo movies to explain how their characters and worlds work. They all just kind of had to do it on the fly, which admittedly drags the movie down a bit because you got to keep stopping.
We had Volko as well in this that looks completely different from what Willem Dafoe looks in there. And he's a character who's been in Aquaman's life since he was a boy, yet he spends the entire scene he's there explaining who he is.
Love that. Loved everything about that. Hello, Arthur, person I have known since boyhood, as you find out later. Allow me to tell you our entire history together. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Also, to it's like, and here is your mother's trident, but not your real mother's trident, because as we find out later.
And this is not a trident.
No, it's a sextant, but whatever. Trident sounds cool and everything. We get that. I guess the biggest, meatiest additions to this are, of course, Flash and Cyborg get their story arcs returned to the movie. And yeah, I guess it makes the ending a little better because now, unlike in the original cut, Superman just doesn't come in and save everyone and half the team ends up feeling fucking useless. Now we have a whole thing about Cyborg needing to hack the boxes and Flash running and eventually doing something with time. And I'm like, okay, you made the team movie more of a team movie at the end. But also, yeah, I see why they cut those stories too, because their arcs aren't really arcs. Flash's big thing is like, oh, I got accepted into the CSI program. Like, yeah, none of that had anything to do with what you just did.
Yeah, and that wasn't even referenced before that scene either, because like we had that scene where he saves Iris, again a character who's never seen in the film again after that. If we saw her at the end, I could understand it. It's like a payoff sort of thing, but he saves her and he's trying to get a job at some dog cafe or something. I don't fucking know. But
I think it was a dog walker.
But there was no mention of him trying to get into university or anything. Like, it would have been better if he was like at the university trying to apply and then he has to save Iris.
Again, it's all to set up sequels that never happened, yet only exist.
Well, Flash is going to happen, but it's not going to be anything like this.
No, it's going to be nothing like any of this.
In fact, it's going to wipe all of this out of existence.
And again, the Cyborg stuff, it's like, okay, cool, he gets way more to do than he did in the original cut. But at the same time, too, it's like, did his dad also need a C plot, too? Because, like, Silas Stone has a whole plot to something. Like, couldn't you have tied these two together? The fact that the team never goes to Silas Stone for help is really weird.
It is. He gets captured, and then, like, he gets let go, and then, that's it.
It's like, guys, he clearly knows a lot about the box. Why don't you bring him in to be, like, your man in the chair and help you out?
For a guy on the team called the world's greatest detective, he's not very good at his job.
No, he does very little detective work in this. In fact, he does basically no detective work because he has Waller's files and he has Luther's files.
Yeah, and he has Diana to give him a 20-minute exposition dump on a war with Darkseid that happened in the past.
Yes, exactly. Which, again, they changed that one, too, to be like, oh, and Zeus was there, and Ares was there. I'm like, why is Ares there? Because he was the villain in Wonder Woman, so you felt you needed to put him in there and give him something to do?
They were there in the theatrical. It's one of those things where the scene was extended longer than it needed to be.
Yeah. And again, too, swapping out Steppenwolf for Darkseid.
Yeah.
Who I like you made the point that all the fans were making a big deal of the fact of like, no, well, he's not Darkseid yet. He's Awaxis or whatever. No, they call him Darkseid.
They were. They kept saying he's not Darkseid yet. He's Awaxis. That's why he looks different. It's like, no, they call him Darkseid throughout the whole film.
Mm-hmm. I will say, too, as far as the stuff with Flash and Cyborg, it suffers from the fact that, like, Doom Patrol already did Vic Stone better, and The Flash over multiple seasons did Flash's story better, too. I'm just sorry. They just did. I'm sorry.
They're just better characters, on those ones.
Yeah. They're just going to feel like lesser versions, though it was kind of creative in a bit that you never really see for Snyder to be like, okay, how do we explain Cyborg's power? Yes, we'll go inside the digital world and we'll have him, become a computer god and turn little money into big money.
That's how you know he's good. He turns the waitress's money into big money. Which I'm like, okay, he's actually doing something kind of heroic and actually trying to help out, which I don't think he did in the original. He just kind of like bums around his apartment. Yeah, mopey asshole in the original.
He just mopes. I'm like, okay, he's actually trying to help. I'll appreciate that. The movie really needed more of that too. And again, if I may, quote the Red Letter Media guys here, I think they really nailed it. Where it's like, Zack Snyder doesn't care about people, does he?
No, he cares about the larger than life gods and all that, not the little things.
He is fetishistically obsessed with heroes.
And it's none more evident in what was, while I was watching it, my favorite scene in the movie that was completely undercut straight away, and that's the Martha Kent talking to Lois scene.
Oh,
it's probably the most like this is like a comic. This is exactly how it would be in the like she's sad and everything, and then he just immediately undercuts it by revealing that Martha Kent was Martian Manhunter for no reason.
That is a really surprising dick punch, and they never really go back to be like, well, where was Martha Kent at that time there? And like, well, that's, again, you're setting up a sequel that's never going to happen, and you actually end up hurting a scene that was actually pretty good.
Not only that, like, just having Martian Manhunter in there and having it be, it revealed that he's that general that was in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. It's like, where was he during these, like, 3 big extinction level events with Zod and Doomsday? It's like he could have easily talked Zod down with his mind powers like instantly.
I guess that I thought he looked familiar.
That's what he's meant to be. He's meant to be General Swanwick.
Okay, that opens up a whole kettle of fish. Now, John, you asshole, why didn't you get involved?
And he only appears at the end for a tag for a movie we're never going to get.
Never going to see now, which is confirmed this week that we will never actually ever see that because they're done.
Again, they're not going to do it because they don't just have half a movie sitting in a drawer that they can spend 70 minutes. They'd have to spend something like $400 million, and they're not going to do that.
Yeah, which I think the money men are officially done, where it's like, no, we spent $300 million on this originally.
Then we spent probably more.
Yeah. Then we spent $100 million more for the Whedon, pickups and everything. Then we spent $70 million more to finish this, which I love the story too. They told Zach, don't film anything else. Finish what you have. Do not film anything else. And of course, he went out and filmed new stuff.
Yeah, and it looks awful because it's just that tacked on nightmare stuff.
Yes.
And it looks awful.
I'm sure you noticed too, Ben Affleck, he expands and deflates several times throughout the movie.
Yeah, well, none more so in that nightmare scene where it's all like close up of just his head because that's all that would fit into the costume, and even then it's still there's like gaps in the side of the cowl and everything.
And he just looks tired.
Yep. Yeah, that end scene with Martian Manhunter, that was a reshoot, and he looks completely different.
Which is how I looked after the 4 hours was all done. I'm like, man, this is Ben Affleck's best acting ever. Because again, it's like, why did I have to come back and do this 3 times?
Yeah. He's got to come back and do it again for the Flash, but I think that's like, right. I'm done.
Please let me leave. But yeah, some more stuff I liked. I guess Steppenwolf actually has like a raison d'etre now, which is better than the no reason he had in the other movie for doing what he did. It still doesn't make him a good character or anything, but it makes him slightly better than was before.
I can see like what they did with the theatrical here, whereas in this one he's doing it to like get back in Darkseid's good books and whatnot. Whereas in the theatrical they've kind of changed it where he's the one wanting to do the unity. With the mother boxes and a mother, which everyone takes out of context, which I got immediately. He's talking about the mother boxes.
Yes.
But yeah,
which is also silly too, where it's like, oh yes, the infinity unity, the mother box. Oh yeah, also the anti-life equation is here too. Darkseid had found it and then forgot what planet it was on.
I don't understand that. That just felt like something he tagged on in like ADR, where it's like, oh, we're gonna have the anti-life equation here. Oh, it was on this planet that Darkseid forgot about, but how did he forget about that planet? That doesn't make any sense.
It's the thing he wants more than anything else. It's the thing that drives him at all times. Oh no, I forgot what planet it was on. What was it called? Dirt, mud, slop. Oh, Earth. It was called Earth. Yep, that was the one.
And you couldn't even you could do some comic book stuff where it's like, oh well, like when he was defeated, the boom tubes like fucked up and flung Earth somewhere else into the universe or something like that. Yeah. But he's like, no, well, he arrived there on ships, defeating the purpose of what a mother box's primary focus is.
What's up with that? Steppenwolf and all these other guys, they can boom tube in and out whenever the script is convenient for them, yet they also have ships to bring their forces all over the place. You'd think it would be one or the other, y'all.
Yeah.
You would hope so. Another thing too, they look fine. They look nothing like the comic counterpart. They look fine. They match the aesthetic of this universe. I'm okay with that.
Big gray monsters. Yep.
They're big gray monsters from a big dark monster planet. The thing I don't agree with and the thing I don't like is, why do they all have the same generic monster voice? I'm talking right now. Oh, really? You sound just like me. No, I sound like Steppenwolf. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's like they all had the same effect put on the voice.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which I bet they put the effect on the voice because they probably didn't get the Steppenwolf actor back, yeah?
I don't know. Well, I think it's a lot of his own same dialogue, and because a lot of it is just they've just reskinned what was in the theatrical cut, which I preferred the theatrical cut design because it was more comic based. It looked more like the actual comic Steppenwolf.
I thought they were needed
needed more render time, but yeah.
I thought they were both kind of bad extreme. Speaking of bad extreme, something I think that doesn't work here and especially didn't work in the original, the musical choices.
Oh, fuck. I get it's like I compared it to Suicide Squad. Now it's just like some new bit of music every 10 minutes or so.
We need a song here because that's what good important movies have, and it will be incredibly on the nose every time. A king and a dick because Aquaman's on screen because we gotta mention the word king because he's the king of Atlantis.
The Flash saving Iris scene I would have really liked if they had used the music that was actually in the time travel sequence, that sort of Flash music, not whatever folksy song they chose there. It just didn't fit at all. And again, it feels like it was like band-aids, put we can't really do sound mixing for this because that's gonna put us over budget. We'll just plop this song because there's no other sounds in that scene. There's just that song,
just that bit, which is unfortunate. Surprisingly, the Leonard Cohen cover was not in this. I am shocked that was a Whedonism. I would have bet
it was kind of I think that I know that one you're talking at the start, where it's like the montage of I think that's actually Superman. A Snyder thing just because of this, how it was shot. It looks like something Snyder would shoot, and maybe he just cut it out here just to, I don't know, get rid of it or something.
Maybe. Something I will admit that I very much enjoyed is getting to play spot the cut, spot what's missing. I actually think that for future reference, this will be really good for film schools and videography classes to be like, okay, everyone, can you spot the cut?
One I liked, which was one that everyone assumed was a Whedon cut, which was in the Whedon cut we find Steppenwolf gets the mother box for when it explodes out of the ship when they bring Superman back. It lands in the parking lot and he takes it. He doesn't in this. What he does is he arrives in the parking lot to find it, and which is extra funny because Snyder went on record saying he never shot anything like that, but he obviously did.
Clearly,
yeah, and he doesn't find it in the car park. It's just next door in the building.
No, because Silas Stone needs to have a heroic sacrifice scene where I'm like, Did he really need to die here? It feels like he could have marked the box another way and not have to kill it. It would have taken the exact same amount of time. If anything, it feels like, I'm going to kill myself now so I don't have to deal with my son and his mood swings.
Which is something Silas would do.
Again, he is kind of a shitty father like that in basically every version. Because it's such a thing with Cyborg where it's like, I didn't ask to be born, Dad. I didn't ask to be a cyborg. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Then he saves his dad, and then they're cool. And then he kills himself, and they're not cool, and he feels alone and sad again. Like, well, he started sad, and he ended sad.
Yeah, the classic Zack Snyder character arc.
Pretty much. And then it's like, oh, but I have this tape recording of my dad, and he said I'd be cool, so I guess I'm going to be cool from now on. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's better than the nothing you had. The thing about Cyborg, and I'll bring this up, and I mentioned this in our original commentary, I mentioned this in our original review, and I cannot believe that this was not addressed in this version, because it was such an easy layup. Again, Cyborg's whole raison d'etre, I didn't ask to be brought back to life, you shouldn't have played God, Dad, I hate you. But I'm totally going to be happy playing God to bring back Superman, and that will never be brought up once.
No, yeah, I'm integral to this, and we'll bring him back, but you shouldn't have brought me back.
Again, the layup is so perfect to him to be like, oh, I understand you better now, Dad, because I did the thing, and, if you were in the same situation, I had to save the world, I am your world, blah, 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 blah. But see, it's all fucking easy, but no one did it.
Yeah, you think it's like the logical way to progress that character. No.
And again, it's interesting and compelling writing, and I'm like, why in both versions of this movie did no one take this? This was good quality material, and no one wrote jack shit about it.
Yeah. No, they'd rather get, as Cyborg Sober reminds me, the Wonder Woman music that they play every time she's on screen, or every time an Amazon is on screen. They'd rather do stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I guess that's better than the cello that's everywhere. Okay.
Not really.
I love we dropped the cello by 87.
Yep.
Also, again, you can tell that this is the version of the movie that he wrote originally and changed nothing else, because it's like, oh yeah, why hasn't Diana gone back to the island in all these years? She should have taken her invisible jet.
Yeah. She should have flown there.
Yeah, because she can fly now, but she can't hear. Oops. Uh-oh, we wrote this from an earlier version. We didn't know any of this would happen. Fuck. Same with Aquaman. We didn't know how that movie was going to go. Uh-oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And Superman's in the movie, too.
Oh, is he? Oh, where?
Sometimes.
Yeah, no, he's in the film for maybe 10 minutes. A 4-hour cut, and he's in it for maybe 10 minutes.
The Justice League, the world's greatest heroes unite. Well, except for Superman, because we could never write anything good with Superman anyway. And again, he's got
less lines than he did in Batman v Superman. Again, this should just tell everyone how much Zack Snyder feels about this character.
Yeah,
he fucking hates this character.
I just want to do Batman. I'll only do Superman if he can have the black suit.
And if he can do Jesus stances, T-posing above Earth and whatnot.
Do Jesus again, and also completely retread Man of Steel by recreating a scene from that movie?
Well, I don't think it was an actual recreation, because there's multiple scenes of Superman here that are actually lifted from they've green screened him out of Batman v Superman. I think it's the part where we see the vision of him with the dead Lois, and Darkseid puts his hand on his shoulders. That scene there is from Man of Steel when he kills Zod.
Right, okay. Yeah, they did a lot of that. Ooh, I also love Jesse Eisenberg standing in the water fully clothed.
Where they just took the feather tool from Photoshop and just erased the bottom part of his body.
There you go. No one can tell the difference. It's fine.
$70 million.
It's well spent.
I want to talk about that, because it was revealed that this movie actually has more VFX shots than Endgame.
Really?
Yeah, and it looks as bad as that because they only had 7 months to do the VFX, whereas Endgame had, I think, about 3 years.
Right.
And I got so much shit for this because it's like, it looks bad because it took 7 months. They didn't have enough time to do it in. And it's very obvious. But also, that's probably the reason why it's in 4:3. Because 4:3 is easier to render out in. It's cheaper.
Wow.
It's cheaper.
I did not think, holy shit. Here's the thing, because I had heard about the aspect ratio thing, but I'm not going to lie. I'm an idiot. I don't know that much about aspect ratios, honestly. Watch any of my videos to understand that. So when I actually turned on the movie and I'm like, hey, what's wrong with the screen? Did I do something wrong? What's wrong with this? Hey, hey, I'm hitting my screen. Then I'm like, oh yeah, they changed the aspect ratio.
Yeah, and again, it says at the start, it's like, oh, it's the director's creative vision. It's like, well, then why were you storyboarding in 16:9 when you're like, he's released storyboards that are all in 16:9 widescreen. It's like, you just did this just because it's like cheaper, didn't you? So, oh, but you can see more of Batman's goggles. Oh.
Sure could.
I know Red Letter Media did a comparison, and it's like you're not missing out on anything else.
No,
you're missing out on a little bit more headroom.
Mm-hmm. What else is there to talk about? Again, just so long, just so many things. Like we said, it's basically the same movie, guys. Again, the ending is a little better because Flash and Cyborg have more to do, and it feels a bit more like a team movie.
Yeah, it's the same movie in the same sense as that. Like, if you grabbed a movie, grabbed all their deleted scenes, all the extended scenes, and just put them all together.
The stuff that was cut, I see why they cut it. Mm-hmm. Yes, it feels more complete now. Some of the action scenes are a little cooler because, they definitely go on for a little longer and don't feel as choppy. For a lot of people, I'm sure that's going to be enough for them, but I don't think it justifies sitting for 4 hours to watch it. I really don't.
Absolutely not. No.
Oh, shit, we didn't even talk about the post-credit that's not a post-credit, but it's really a post-credit.
The Nightmare?
Yeah, the Nightmare world, which, again, I swear to God, is just what Snyder wanted to do anyway. I just want Batman with guns in the apocalypse and evil Superman is all I want.
That was stuff he shot recently. That was like the stuff, and you could tell because everything was like close up. We had a CGI Ezra Miller that looked nothing like Ezra Miller.
No, looked like a completely different actor, which, man, talk about the killer's row of talent you managed to get together for this scene. Ben, this movie ruined my life and sent me back to rehab, Affleck. Amber, they ain't getting me back for Aquaman 2, Heard, with her British accent. Friggin' Ezra the Choker Miller and Jared Sex Island Leto.
who the again finest. Is just like a terrible, terrible Joker. Even without all the makeup and shit on him.
Oh, and I also forgot, Ray, I'm never working with Walter Hamada or Warner Brothers again, Fisher as well, which again goes to show you're never getting any more of this, guys. They literally can't. The fact that he filmed this, shot this, and they put it in anyway is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah. Again, did they know? That's the thing.
They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Do they want that to be Exhibit A that they can point to every time and be like, this is why we can't do any more of these? But hey, you do get to hear Leto talk about reach-arounds, and Batman says the fuck word.
Yeah, he's grown up.
He's a big grown-up, big boy grown-up there with the fuck word. Yep. Also, I guess Cyborg said fuck earlier in the movie, too, so that's...
Did he? I didn't hear it. When did he say that?
Oh, yeah, he says fuck the world when Wonder Woman tries to recruit.
Oh, fuck's sake. God damn
which honestly, I'm like, you know what? That's fair, because that is like the truest feeling of this movie. And another big problem I have with this version of the Justice League, where it's like, why do you guys want to save the world again? You seem really disconnected and uninterested in the world in general. And when like Cyborg said fuck the world, I'm like, at least he's being honest.
Yeah, for more intensive purposes, the world fucking hates you.
Yeah,
really. If Batman v Superman and like all the stuff with Superman was any indication, they don't like you people.
No, why do you even bother? And that's the other thing too, where it's like, I didn't like the original Justice League, and I don't like this one either, even though it, like I said, feels more complete, has a better ending, fixes a lot of my nerdy complaints, etc., etc. Because Man of Steel was bad, and Batman v Superman is bad. These characters are bad. Their journey is flawed and makes no sense. Why is everyone sad Superman is gone when they hated him? Why is Batman treating Superman like he had this big, long love affair friendship with him when when he literally tried to kill him an hour before he died? Why does Wonder Woman call him Kal-El? You don't know his alien, and you knew for an hour.
Well, not even that, like 10 minutes, and then he died.
Even the whole Lois thing, like, oh, Lois is so important. She's the key to all of this. Remember when they kissed when Metropolis was on fire all around them after Superman snapped his neck and then they fell...
And that the ashes of the dead rained down on them and, yeah.
Yeah. And then they fell in love in between movies and we never saw it, but we're really, really supposed to take their romance seriously because her dying apparently turns Superman evil in this nightmare future.
Well, not only evil, or like a lackey for Darkseid, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how does her dying suddenly mean like, oh, I'm gonna go serve Darkseid?
Well, apparently she was supposed to be pregnant because we saw the whole pregnancy test thing there.
Yeah, and the pregnancy test is called force majeure because of course it fucking is.
I saw that.
But you know, apparently that in like early drafts was meant to be Bruce Wayne's child because Bruce snuck in and cucked Superman because of course you do that.
Which is why he got mad and decided to kill everyone. Again, can that finally put to rest that Snyder never really cared about telling a comic accurate version of these characters, just a version he wanted that he thought would be cool?
Yeah.
Like, literally, it sounds like he just hit a joint and said, you know, it'd be cool if Batman had sex with Lois and Superman got all crazy and killed everybody.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
To where it's like, look, if you like that, that's fine, but don't think I'm a weirdo for not liking this because I read the comics in lots of different versions.
Yeah. There's more, there's better versions of this whole, like, alternate universe, Superman's evil, different things happen with different characters, like Injustice.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, like, if you liked it, that's fine. I'm glad you got what you wanted. It seems like a lot of people had a lot of fun getting to, you know, burn 4 hours on this. Lord knows we're all still in quarantine, so, you know, the more time we have to kill, the better. So, I mean, really, you could only release this movie at this time.
Well, see, that's the thing. If there was no pandemic, I don't think this would get released.
No, where it's like, look, we got a new streaming service. We need some content. People keep saying they want it, so I guess we'll do it.
Yeah, and it's like, again, that's what people are, like, they've obviously said they're not doing any more of these, and they can't do anymore because, as I said before, they don't just have, like, half of one of these films just sitting on a shelf they could just throw a couple mil at and just, like, get a couple of new subscribers to the thing. They'd have to shell out a lot more money to get it all done and bring all these people back and all these directors and stuff back. But you know, we've had people say they're not working with this company anymore.
Exactly.
You know, why would they waste that money?
It's done. We're pretty much done.
Yeah.
As KT says, by the 5th beer, I started to be okay with the movie. See, you had the right idea, KT. See, that's what it was all about. See, I actually felt the other way, where I was actually really into it in the first hour, even though it was slow, because I'm like, okay, they fixed that problem. Okay, they addressed that. Okay, this isn't in it anymore. But then by the time it was done, I'm like, this is just the same movie, but taking way longer to get there.
Yeah. By the time they resurrect Superman and everything, you're like, okay, yeah, this is just the same stuff. It's just alternate scenes.
Just alternate. And then when we get that last 20-minute prologue, I'm like, fuck off. You actually think that you're going to get more of this? Come on. Come on, that ain't happening. Come on.
Yeah.
But then too, like, when that was done, I'm like, okay, I kind of respect him though for going like full whole hog, being like, look, they're probably never gonna let me do another one of these again. So I want Joker to say reach around, and I want evil Superman.
I will say this, like, and the Red Letter Media guys also pointed this out. It was a lot more reserved than like Batman v Superman was, whereas that was just a mess.
Yeah,
just a visual and auditory mess. Whereas this one was a little bit more reserved.
Yeah,
and
I guess a bit more.
I guess it's probably as well to do with the length as well. It's all like spaced out, whereas before it would have been condensed into like a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, they added a lot of stuff, but they didn't add anything I particularly like really wanted to see, where it's like, okay, cool, we got 4 hours, so we're gonna get to see the team sitting down together and talking and becoming
There's
friends.
Gonna be more time with like Superman with the team and stuff like that.
Again, they seem standoffish and prickish to each other the whole way through.
until that end battle where Superman comes and they fucking murder Steppenwolf.
I mean, hey, for as stupid as it was, that whole Russian family side plot from the original, it's like, well, at least they're trying to help people. At least they're working together to save human beings.
That was two things I liked in the Whedon version. There was that one where the Flash panics and finds that he's out of his depth, and Batman gives him that speech about save one person. Like
that's pretty good.
That was created. And then there was the part at the end where they still do part of it in this, where they pull apart the mother boxes, Cyborg and Superman, and then after it they have like a little laugh about Superman wishing he was dead again because he hurt so much from the blowback of the thing. Like, that was nice. That's a little humanizing moment, but it's not in here.
I liked Superman and Flash racing. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, you just get rid of the weird mouth and it was cool.
That was nice. Again, that's the sort of thing I want from a team up. I want my heroes hanging up or, hanging out and liking each other and everything, really building a team. This is a team movie where the guy making it was clearly only interested in a couple of the characters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Batman and like Cyborg and maybe Flash a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. As like comedy relief.
Yeah.
Also, too, a scene from the original I miss where Aquaman's standing on the lasso of truth. That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was a good bit. I can only imagine the fan editors out there who will no doubt probably try and edit those two versions together to try and create something. Justice League, the Ultima Cut. Justice League, I don't know, we'll think of some fun name for it. But yeah, I imagine that would actually be a fun exercise, being like, okay, now cut this version down to something releasable.
Do you think, what are the odds that like in the next coming weeks we're going to have Snyder come out saying, oh, there was like some stuff I cut out of this that they didn't want me to put in? And then it starts again. The cycle starts again. And then
it starts all over again. That's another thing, too, where it's like when I was done this movie, okay, cool, we're done, we're free. Some people are going to like it. Some people are going to hate it. Some people aren't going to have their minds changed. Well, that's what Snyder said. He said,
this is it. This is like, I'm like done. He's got that Army of Darkness movie coming out, which actually looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's got that. I'm sure he's got other projects going at the moment. His
Fountainhead movie.
Yeah, it's his big Fountainhead movie.
That he's been dying to make forever.
Yep.
But Justice League, the Snyder Cut. I liked some of it. I didn't like other stuff. By and large, I think it's mostly the same movie, just with very small not very small changes, but small changes.
Yeah, alternate changes.
Alternate changes. It is an interesting alternate version. It is more complete. The ending is better. Some of the fight scenes are cooler, and I'm sure for some people that's all they wanted.
Yeah.
And they will be pleased. For me, I didn't like the other two. I thought the actual characters and storytelling were weak.
Yep. They absolutely were weak. Like some of the stuff, like Superman is the perfect example. He's in the movie 10 minutes in a Justice League film. He's one of the founding members of Justice League, and he's in it for 10 minutes.
Basically has nothing to do.
No.
Has nothing to do except for go crazy and fight everyone, which again, even the Red Letter Media guys said this was overly indulgent in both versions of the movie. You didn't need this. Mm-hmm. You could have cut that scene entirely and changed nothing, and maybe they all go to Kent Farm, and maybe they all talk and get to know each other and hang out.
Yeah, they go get some pie from Mark Kent and hang out.
Yeah, she's like, oh, we have guests, so I guess I'll put the supper on then.
Yeah, that's happened in the comics.
It has been, yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? Again, just totally steal from the Ninja Turtles movie when they all have to go to the cabin and they all sit around the fire and everything before the big battle. That's all they need to do. And then Batman, when he's talking to Steppenwolf, family, you call that your family? Those are bugs. These aren't your family. Just start stealing from other movies. And if I can change and you can change, anyone can change, Steppenwolf. You know how to whistle, don't you? Just put your lips together and blow, Steppenwolf. Just tap your... You always had the power to go back home to Apocalypse, Steppenwolf. Just tap your heels together 3 times. Oh, what a world. Superman's melting. I don't have anything else to say. I think we're done, Matt. Aren't we done?
Yeah. Well, you've got to watch the black and white cut, because apparently that makes it all the much difference, because everything now is in black and white. The 2% of color that was in this is now gone. Makes it completely different.
Exactly. Now it's a real big boy movie for big boys.
Again, HBO Max just milking it. They're going to do this one. They're going to do a mirrored version. They're going to do one where it's all negative and Yep.
That'll be interesting. They should do a bad lip reading version is what they should do, like for YouTube. That's what I want, the bad lip read version. I guess we had comics from this week too. Do we just want to like lightning round them really quick? I think there was only 3 that came out that were like big and important.
Yeah.
Nightwing came out, the new Tom Taylor book.
It did, and it was fucking awesome.
Really good. Everything I wanted from the series. He remembered that Blockbuster is still there and still a major Nightwing villain. Yes. Loved that he looks to be the big foe. Also, friggin' what is it? Zuko has another kid.
Yes, who's targeting Nightwing because they know that he was a flying Grayson. He's Dick Grayson.
Yes, which is very interesting. Also, Dick is richer than Batman now because friggin' Alfred was sitting on fat stacks and gave it all to him.
Alfred invested in Bitcoin and
Hell yeah,
got
he
out
did.
just before his death.
He invested in GameStop just in time. Oh, Master Dick, I got right stonks, all the stonks. And now I'm giving that money to you. I would give it to Bruce, but I know he would just buy gargoyles and mope on them. Also, hey, Alfred, don't you have a daughter? What happened to Julia Pennyworth? Shut up, Dick.
She probably got some of it as well. But
you would hope
I
so.
guess it falls into like what he said in the issue, where it's like he knew the money going to Dick would be that's where it would be like best use, because he's a problem solver in a world full of problems.
Which I love that idea too. What could Nightwing accomplish if he had the money and resources of Batman?
I'm looking forward to seeing what he actually does. I have to imagine he's going to do something like with Bloodhaven. Try and I'd actually love, because it looks like it could tie into the plot with Blockbuster, because Blockbuster it's basically the kingpin here, where he's like basically running the mayor of Bloodhaven and everything. I could see like Dick maybe using that money to try and, I don't know, become mayor or like get him out of office.
That would be fun.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or to find a politician who, you know, is worth backing financially, which is something Bruce would do.
Yeah.
You know, find the little guy and be like, I want to bankroll your whole campaign.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, he's also probably going to bankroll Titans Academy, too.
Yeah, yeah.
That book comes out this week, too, so be on the lookout for that. What else did we have? We also had Justice League 59, the beginning of Bendis's run.
Yes, and it was wonderful. Everything that Bleeding Cool said was going to happen didn't happen, because they're fucking idiots who just rely on clickbait. And nothing. It was wonderful.
It's exactly what the Justice League needs right now. They need to bring it down a notch. They got too big in the Snyder era. They got to bring it down to street level. I love that Oliver Queen is a big character in this. I love that he's saying that the League can do more and he's they need to grow their ranks.
Yeah, he's the one who suggests all this.
Which is great, which I'm just like, oh, Bendis, you dirty flirt, you know just what I like, don't you? You wrote that just for me, didn't you? Though in classic Bendis fashion, he also uses a Green Arrow to pat himself on the back for outing Superman's identity to the world. See, Ollie thought it was good, though. Don't you think it's good now, Joel? You might be warming me up to it a little bit.
His reasoning, though, behind it is very good. It's like, no, Superman's now more relatable to these people.
Which, again, is, I'm sure, just Bendis working through his own writing process, where it's like, well, wouldn't people relate to Superman more if they knew who he was, if he was a real guy with real problems and not just a super god who showed up whenever there was trouble? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, when you put it that way, I guess. Also, Black Adam with the friggin' joke of the month, where it's just like, yes, your parents died too, as did my wife. Would you like some candy? Is it hard candy? Black Adam does not eat hard candy.
He does not eat Black Adam puts tariffs on hard candy in Kandak.
Only gummy worms, gummy bears, gummy Venus de Milos. Only they are fit for Black Adam. This is, again, there's something so wonderfully humanizing about that. This goddamn, strongman dictator with superpowers doesn't eat hard candy.
Yeah, doesn't trust them, yeah.
He draws the line at hard candy. It's very good. It's very fun stuff. I am actually super excited to see where he goes. And I'm reminded, Bendis writes really good team books, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
That's pretty good.
The villain of the book is someone from Naomi's world, which is why she gets involved in the plot, because they track it back to her signature from her alternate Earth, which is a great way to bring her in.
Yeah, gotta work in my original character.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I love Naomi. I think she's a great character.
I gotta go back and read that book now, actually.
Yeah, all their little friends were in this issue as well, which was great to see.
Nice connection there. That's cool. What else did we have going on this week? I guess the last big one was Thor number 13 from Donny Cates.
Yes.
This series continues to be cool as shit, bro.
Yeah, this was the penultimate issue for his Prey storyline, where we get to see Odin is seemingly alive, and we learn that he and Freya went to travel the realms beyond realms to reignite their love, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, for couples counseling. I love they go to like a mermaid for couples counseling, and that didn't work.
No.
We thought they would have had all the secrets under the sea, but they didn't. Yeah. Also, too, I guess he got over his bout of ancient Asgardian Alzheimer's that he had. Yeah, that he had at the end of the Thor run.
Did he have it though? Didn't we say that like that was just him trying to get out of everything? Which is something totally Odin would do.
Friggin' Fred Sanford up in here. Oh, you can't get me in trouble. Don't remember. My mind's going to mush. Hibbity-dibbity. Bye now. But yeah, he's drinking himself to death. And Jane, which I love that Cates remembers that these characters don't actually like each other and were on bad terms because Odin kept trying to arrest Jane and everything. So she tears like a ton of strips out of him, being like, this is your fault, right? Asgard's in trouble and Donald Blake is crazy and killing people because you made it be this way.
Yeah, and for once in his long life, Odin actually owns up to that fact and be like, okay, I should get involved now.
Where it's like, look, you want to be a king actually, being worth remembered, show everyone that old warrior that you used to be, nut up, put on a cool new suit of armor and come help us.
Yeah.
I love, too, he also has zero sympathy for Blake, where it's like, I'm going to, erase your name from history and unmake you for all mankind. I'm like, wow, zero sympathy for this guy who only went crazy because you created him.
Yeah, again, it's that Odin that's like, he'll own up to the fact that he did something bad, but, like, he won't admit it to the person he did it to.
Nah, baby steps, all about them baby steps. It's cool, too, that Thor actually kind of has a genius plan in this issue where he's like, look, okay, I've used the Thor force to open up a rip between this prison dimension and the real world. I can't leave though, because the rules are he needs to bang the stick so we trade places, but I can take my soul out.
Yeah, and I'm going to do that and have my ravens put it in the destroyer armor.
There you go. And then I'm going to beat the shit out of him until we trade places.
Also, they make a point at saying that Jarlborn the axe is gone. It like falls off the Bifrost into the cosmic void.
Where could that be going? Who's gonna pick that up?
Yeah, or would that have been Donald's stick though? Because he kind of like ditched the stick and has just now got the axe.
True. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll have to go get it back.
Yeah.
I imagine, too, Thor will be more sympathetic, to Blake's plight after having to hang out in that prison dimension.
I kind of hope he isn't and just, like, immediately pushes his shit in.
Yeah, go away, you fake person.
Like, they don't learn anything because they're these big fucking Asgardian gods.
Then Jane would have to step in and be like, no, like, I knew him. Like, we were, like, kind of a couple and a thing. Like, he seemed like a nice guy when you weren't driving him to murderous madness. Maybe lock him in a regular prison, not like some crazy hellmouth prison. But yeah, that book continues to be awesome. Cates has really, really hit his stride.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's it for this week, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, we had an almost 2-hour show. Holy shit.
Yeah, we talk. We had a lot of stuff to talk about as well this week. We did. Anyway.
And if this isn't long enough, don't worry, everyone. We'll have the Cape Joel cut where it's actually just 4 hours.
Yeah, and it's going to be in 4x3 in black and white.
We say all the same things. It just takes us longer.
I toyed with the idea of actually just starting the show in 4x3 and then transitioning back.
I thought you were either going to do that or maybe when you edit the show later have like, this podcast has been brought to you in for the, artistic vision of Joel and Matt.
I was going to do that at the start of the show and then have my camera in like black and white with the borders and
yeah, and all the brave Mujahideen fighters.
Yep.
That too. That's my favorite joke. A lot of people did that joke of like, taking that thing and changing it to say something silly or stupid. That's my favorite. This movie is in 4.3 to honor the Mujahideen fighters. Because it's so fucking stupid and it's like a deep cut stupid joke. Yep. That's my humor. All right, everyone, we've rambled for too long, and I got to actually get up early tomorrow. Thank you all for coming out and checking out the show. We really appreciate it, especially because it's a day late. We're going to try and get this up on Patreon as soon as we can. We're going to try and get it up Wednesday, even if I don't get it up at 8 a.m. because, time difference between me and Matt. Sometimes I'm already asleep by the time it's rendered. We're going to promise to get it up on Wednesday at some point.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming and checking out the show. If you're a patron, especially thank you because, you help make the magic work.
You do.
Is what you do. Yeah. And we'll be back again next week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.